Hello Stampers! Today I'm going to show you a scrapbook page using my digital studio. I've chosen a scrapbook 12 by 12 page and an existing photo only layout. You can see I've got three picture boxes here, and so I'm just going to start with a background paper. So I've selected the background paper symbol at the top here, and I'm just going to click browse to bring up all my papers, and I'm going to go down to that's the one I want, the dotted stripes. So I'm going to click open, and what that does is brings in all your papers on the left here, and I'm going to go down and choose the color that I want. So I think I'll use the soft suede. So I've just double clicked on that, and it's pre-filled it into my background. Now I actually only want two pictures on this page, so I'm going to click on this photo box, which is the black box, and I'm just going to click delete on my keyboard, and that will get rid of that. I'm also going to delete this box here, and then I'm going to click on these photo boxes because I want this one to be a bit bigger. I'm just going to change the size just by moving or clicking on those little squares that end up on the edges and the corners of them, just to the size that I want. So now I'm going to add in a couple of photos. So I'm going to go up and click on the camera icon at the top here. And here you would click browse, and it would bring up all of your photo files that are on my pictures folder. So I'm going to click on one of these files, and it brings all the pictures in that folder onto the left here. I'm going to do a scrapbook page of my daughter today. So I'm going to choose this one here. I'm just going to pull the photo over until I see that the box turns blue, and then I'm going to let go. And what that will do is just pre-fill it right into the photo box. I want a black and white photo, so I'm going to click over here on Photo Effect, and it brings up this box that gives you a few different options for photos. I'm going to choose black and white, and click OK. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the same photo actually, and what I want to do with this one is just create a sort of a close-up. So I'm going to pre-fill the same box, or the second box here with the same photo, and then I'm going to click on zoom in, and that's going to bring the photo in a bit. A little bit too much. There we go. And I'm going to click again on photo effect, click on black and white, and OK. Now I'd also like to put a matte behind these, so I'm just clicking on the photo box, click on matte, and click on change. I'm going to change the color. Right now it's pre-selected as white, as you can see there. So you have all of the colors, and if you hover over them, it tells you the name of the Stampin' Up! Color. I'm going to choose chocolate chip. Now, because I want the same matte on all of the pictures on this page, I'm just going to check that down here. Apply to all photos on this page. It gives me a message saying that it can't be undone. I click OK, and there you see you can have a nice matte behind it. If you want the matte to be bigger, you can just change that by moving the little arrow here. I'm going to leave it at 4. Okay, so then what we're going to do is I'm going to add some embellishments. So I'm going to go into my little flower icon at the top there and click on browse for the embellishments. And I want to get some ribbon. So I'm going to click on grosgrain ribbon and open. There it is, chocolate chip. So I'm just going to pull that up and put it on top of my page. If you were to double click on this, it would actually just end up in the middle of your page, and you could move it around wherever you wanted to after that. Okay, so I want it about there. And then I'm going to go in again, and I want to choose a knot. And we'll go with the chocolate chip knot here. The other thing you can do to move things very easily is just use the arrow keys on your keypad. So just click on the item you want to move up or down. Let's say I wanted to move this long ribbon, and I can just click up or down and move it. It's a lot easier than pulling it with your mouse sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to go in and add a couple of things. I'm going to choose the stamp. You can see from the list here that there's quite a few stamp sets. And they come up on the right hand side here. So I'm going to choose Baroque Motifs and click Open. And then I'm going to pull in this stamp image onto the page. Now they'll automatically come up as black, so if you want to change them to something else, you just click on Change Color on the right. Again, I'm going to go with Chocolate Chip. And I'm also going to change the opacity of this, which makes it just look a little bit lighter, almost like a vellum look. There we go. And I think I'm going to put in a flourish up here. Change the color of that to Chocolate Chip. And I'm going to change the opacity of that as well. Now you can see from this image here that this is placed it over top of the picture because I did the stamp after I did the picture, and I actually want that to be underneath the picture. I don't want all these swirls on my daughter's photo. So what I'm going to do is do Control Shift and press the arrow down button. Now what that does is it sends it behind the other layers. You could also do Control Shift and the arrow up button. The other option you have is this icon at the top that says Change Object Layer, and you can click on that and go either send backward or send all the way to the back. So sending it to the back would be basically putting it just on top of the pattern paper. And you can bring it forward layer and layer at a time. And basically each one of the objects, including the ribbon and the bow and the stamps, is a layer. So you might have to press that quite a few times to get it past the layer, into the layer that you want. Okay, I'm going to go in and add some, I want to put alphabet stamps on here, so I'm going to choose the Schoolbook Serif alphabet, click on Open, and I'm just going to pull some of these onto the page and spell out her name. Now you can see that I put that T a little bit too high, so I'm just going to click on the object and just use the arrow key to move it down to line it up. It's a lot easier to line it up with your arrow keys. Okay, so I think that looks fairly lined up there. I'm just going to click on this stamp here. I want it a little bit bigger. I'm just going to pull the corner out a bit. It's just giving me an error message saying now that could pixelate with a stamp image. It doesn't though, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so I've got that kind of lined up the way I want it, I think. And what I'm going to do is just, I want to move this whole thing over a little bit to the right. So I just drew a box around it by clicking on the background paper. You can see that I'm pulling a rectangle here and I'm saying I want to select all these items. And I want to go up to Arrange and click on Group. And that means it's going to group all those items together as one thing. And then I can move the whole thing around without having to fiddle too much with the actual layout of it. So that's quite a helpful tool that I use a lot to move a bunch of embellishments, but I want to keep them together. So and then I'm going to go ungroup if you want to ungroup it and fiddle around with it some more. So I think I'm just going to add one more thing, and that is going to be another layer of paper in behind the photos. I'm going to go up to here. I want to add a layer of paper. So I want to do that from the right hand side here. I'm going to click on Background Papers and Designer Series paper. So I'm going to choose the Soft Flower set. I'm going to go with the Soft Suede. And what's going to happen is if I just clicked OK here, it's going to change my main background paper to the flower one. I don't want to change that one. I want to keep that one the way it is. So I'm going to click on Add as Page Layer. And what that's going to do is just put a small piece of it on the page. And you can see that it ends up in the middle here. Now, rather than stretching this out and changing the sides of it to what I want it to be, which would actually change the pattern shape as well, it would make the flowers a lot bigger, what you can do is double click on it and then bring it into your crop window here and then make it a little bit longer here. And now you can see it's covered up my photos. So I'm going to go up to the layer window and click on send to the back. So then you can see that it sent it to the back of it. Now I see that it's not quite lined up, so I'm just going to use my arrow keys and move it around until I get it to the shape that I want it on. So that is my scrapbook page for today. Fairly easy to use, this program. I love it. I love that you can change anything on it. And stay tuned for my next video. Thanks for stopping by.